Mr. Jay Richards. He's the director of the DeVos Center for Life, Religion and Family, and the William E. Simon Senior Research Fellow at Heritage Foundation. He is PhD in Philosophy and Theology from Princeton University, and he's author of or editor of more than a dozen books and numerous articles, which have been covered widely in the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, and many other publications. So welcome, Sir Richards.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure and honor to chair this panel and to be a part of this august gathering. There's perhaps no more important subject that we could be discussing this morning. We all feel that this is a moment of great peril, but it is also a moment of great promise. We're here, I think, largely, most of us, because of the peril, because of the dangers to the commitments of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights, for which we're now celebrating the 75th year. Here's the promise, though. There are essentially four fundamental threats to these universal human rights. Two still exist, but are not at all subtle. They're obvious. The true dangers are actually the two much more subtle risks. So what are these four fundamental problems? Well, the first is simply the denial that universal human rights exist. This is still an academic debate. There are still people that dispute on academic grounds or philosophical grounds the very existence of human rights. But at least internationally and rhetorically, almost no one argues this publicly. That's a remarkable thing. We live in an era in which everyone, at least officially or rhetorically, defends the existence of human rights. That is itself an accomplishment. That is a very rare thing if you look at the long march of human history. The second serious threat that we still have to deal, but which is also not very subtle, is to deny their universality. In other words, rather than saying that these are human rights that attach to us simply by virtue of the fact that we are human, restricting them either by age or nationality or physical or economic capacity. Now, this is still very much a threat, but almost no one internationally will argue that way. No one will explicitly argue that human rights ought to be narrowly construed and defined, for instance, only to a particular nationality. That's also an accomplishment, the fact that it is still considered a rhetorical error to restrict the application of human rights. So what are the two subtle errors? And these are the two that I think with which we most have to deal. The first is simply to add things to the list of fundamental rights that are not rights, but are goods. In other words, they're things that we would like everyone to have. And this is a strange sort of error, but it's crucial that we distinguish between rights that are truly universal. How do you tell if a right is universal? Well, one way sort of philosophically to do that is if a right is universal, every single member of the human family can hold it and can have it and enjoy it in the same way, and it entails a corresponding duty that can apply rightly and universally to each member of the human family. That's different from many things that we would like to have. We would like, for instance, everyone to have access perhaps to broadband internet or something like this, right? It might be a good, might be a value, but it's a mistake to attach the word right to that precisely because it degrades the character and the value of a fundamental right. And then the truly, truly dangerous, subtle threat to human rights, certainly in the 21st century, is to call things rights that are not only not rights, but undermine actual fundamental rights. There's an expression among economists that bad money chases out good money. In the same way, false claims of rights, counterfeit rights, chase out truly universal and fundamental rights. So a claim, for instance, to be able to kill your unborn child, or claims which undermine the fundamental natural rights of parents to raise and to educate their children. Any claim that undermines these fundamental rights, even if given the name right, is a counterfeit right, and those are the threats that we have to deal with primarily in the 21st century. So this first panel this morning is about precisely the validity of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights 75 years later.